Going to be a quick tutorial for a hand armature, and I know that we have the diagram up of the hall, up on the wall in the classroom, but this is for anybody who wants to make hand armatures. You start off with the drawing for your puppet. It has to be into scale, and what you're going to do is take that wire, and I don't really know what the size of it is right now, but I'll try to post it later on. But you're going to trace an outline of the fingers and the palm, so you're going to follow along these curves to create this loops of wire that go beyond this drawing and part of the wrist. So I'm going to show that to you as represented with this program I'm using, which is Rhino. And I'm going to turn off the drawing now, but you could see that when I did my wire, it went all the way to the fingertips and all the way down to the lower loops, and that's going to be very, very important because of what's going to happen next. Also, these wires right here can be completely parallel, but I kept them separate to make your life easier for seeing it. So the drawing is going to go away. Now the next step is your backup wire, and the backup wire is represented in red. It's the same thickness as the wire for the fingers, but you can see that they only go down the wrist and loop around the palm. Okay, so but you can see that they touch the lower loops and they touch the wrist. This is all going to be sandwiched together. The next step is going to be sticking it together. You can put a little bit of glue here, and then what you can do is wrap some thread around here, but you don't want to put any glue in the palm. So I'm going to make this go away just for a moment, and then we'll come back to it. So what we're going to do is once you stick that wrist together to kind of keep all the wires in place, you're going to sew these individual loops where the lower loop meets the backup wire. So this is actually representing thread that you use a needle and thread with. There's a sewing kit in the classroom, and you want to do a few nice stitches with a lock stitch for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas. This is going to marry them together. This is going to keep the backup wire and the fingers all as kind of a unified piece. So when you go to bend these wires, the fingers will bend at the palm and it won't fall apart on you. It's a nice sturdy hand. Okay, now this wire, this stuff right here is going to be done in the traditional cement, rubber cement, or I should say contact cement and thread. And this is just for lashing. You're going to be using all this extra distance and extra length to attach it to the rest of your armature, and that's going to be part of a different video. But this is how you make a hand armature. Make sure all this wire is nice and clean and no scratches. Take your time with it, because the more time you spend with this, the better. The better it will be, the longer it'll last. But please remember, you have to make a mirror image of this. So you're not only doing this once, you're doing it twice. If you have any questions, please let me know.